Okay, we are now live. Welcome to the virtual write-in.
Hello, everybody.
Well, we probably start off with some folks that maybe don't know us for a little bit of introductions. I'm Nautica. I go by they, them, or she, her, and I am the editorial intern. And maybe you've seen me for the last couple months on the virtual write-ins.
I'm Meghna. I have been on all the virtual write-ins recently. I am the programs intern.
And today
I'm Vera Kurian. I am just a guest. I'm the author of Never Saw Me Coming, which is a thriller that just came out in September.
Nice, and welcome. And we just want to make sure that folks are ready. Right now, we're doing like the marathon for NaNoWriMo. I know we're like halfway through. So it's a little bit exciting. We're almost all the way there. And before we get into anything, let us know where y'all are coming from in the chat, down in the chat. What part of the world are you repping right now? We want to know, because there's always like an international community coming on here.
I'd see Norwich, so the UK. Got Scotland.
Oh, it's an international crowd.
Yeah, already. Some folks from Australia. Coming from Spain and Poland, love it.
Oh, wow, there's a lot of people. Okay.
I see Sweden. Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting to think about how many people are joining us.
From all over the
First
world.
time I did these, I couldn't believe it.
And before, I know we started a little bit late, and I know folks are eager to get into the sprints, but real quick, Meghna, can you share the announcements?
Yes, I can. Give me a minute. So some of the things we have going on right now are a lot of writers and yoga live shows / word sprints, where we have a woman doing hatha yoga, and then she does writing sprints in the middle. And that's tomorrow, probably from 12 to 1 CST. Check the NaNoWriMo calendar for the correct times for your time zone. Next week, we're kind of off with the virtual write-ins, but we do have another writer and yoga event on Tuesday, and we have 2 Writers of Colors meets, one next Monday and one on Tuesday. We also have, actually, I think that's all we have.
Cool. Not a lot going on since Thanksgiving and some breaks happening. Do y'all think, oh yeah, don't forget to announce your projects and like and subscribe. Are y'all ready to write? Yeah?
I'm waiting for yes.
I think we are. Cool. The first prompts, we usually start off with a short sprint just to get your mind rolling. Please use these words if you can, write a scene with it, or just be inspired by it. Use the words break, family, feast, winter, and warmth. So these are going to be posted in the chat. Feel free to use these words or use maybe none of them at all. Just whatever gets you writing for the next 5 minutes. Cool. And Meghna, do you have time or should I start?
Oh, I can do the time. Yeah, that's fine. Give me a second. I got my phone right here. So we're going to do 5 minutes.
Okay, make sure to come back at 1:12.
3, 2, 1, go. Time's up. Stop writing or finish up what you have so far. How was that for y'all?
It was cool. It was cool just practicing writing and describing, because I want to work on being more descriptive. Vera, how was that for you?
I'm not used to writing with a prompt that requires like something like putting specific words. So that was like, I haven't done that in a long time. So it was a little different for me.
It almost feels like school again.
It's kind of fun. I, however, did not follow the rules and just opened my Nano project that I haven't touched in a week to add more to it. So you know, we're all doing what we can.
Fair.
We're all doing something.
That's true.
And I see some folks in the chat, they're putting down their word count. Let us know if you used one of the words, or maybe you got a sentence that you want to like highlight, maybe that you're proud of.
I see 266, 197, and someone used the word winter.
Snow Queen Pictures has 81 words, and Christina has 153.
Rye Pie has 110, and it fits in with adding more background to one of their scenes, which is a feast.
Nice. This must have been perfect for you then.
I love like food and books. Like whenever there's a scene with a lot of like a whole meal, I'm like that's a really good way to like give an atmosphere to a story.
It's with world building.
Yeah. We have a lot of folks. Morgust, I didn't use the words, but I immediately came up with a scene that fit the prompts, and I'm excited to work out that scene. Nice.
Alessandro used break, family, and warmth. Okay, I'm glad people are using the words.
And it's kind of nice that we're talking about like family and feast, because I think we are kind of talking about relationships, our characters' relationships this um, write-in, and just want to like propose a discussion question. Let us know how y'all do it in the chat. How do you develop relationships in your novel? Any advice?
I have oh, should I talk?
Yes, please.
I have a kind of an interesting perspective on that. I do actually a lot of character and relationship work before I even start writing. I have my journal for the book that I'm working on currently, but there are 6 main characters. I don't know why you can see this, but I graph out the nature of every dyadic relationship between them. And describe how person A feels about person B and how person B feels about person A, and then every possible combination. If you're working with a group of people, it gives you a strong sense of like what those sort of internal dynamics are.
That's good. I've always like imagined it. I don't think I've actually seen it drawn.
Yeah. I love the like shape. Like I always like when I picture it, I think of like a tree, but that's more like a map. And it's like it's really cool.
Yeah, I was trying to fit 6 on one page, which is kind of hard.
Okay, I was wondering how many characters that was, because I was like, that looks like a lot.
Yeah, that was 6. So, you know, within that you have some dyads and triads, and then you have a 4, and then you have all the girls versus all the guys. So, and then I've thought about, you know, the dynamics of like, well, half of these people have like really healthy family relationships and the other half don't. Half of them, these are teenagers, half of them are sexually active, half of them are not. You know, some of them are religious, some of them are not. And then you think about those dynamics and how they affect the way they interact with each other.
I'm just quickly Googling that shape.
Nanika, what about you? What do you do?
For relationships? Vera, you have the goal I aspire. That's like in my head, the perfect, but I'm not good at organization. So I think what I do is I like write on postcards. I'm like, what's the relationship for each person? Like maybe there's 4 characters and I would write a card for one character and this is how they feel about each 4 and maybe their history with them. Because I like it when like characters, if they don't know each other, like sometimes our characters don't get to meet all of each other, but when they do, how does that dynamic work? So I don't know. I'm still working on it. Magna, do you have any advice?
My strategy is not, it's a mix of organization and not. So what I try to do is I pick my characters and then I try to write like it kind of what Vera's doing, but not a map. I like write a small scene for each character. Like even if it's like someone they won't interact with in the book, just like how would they talk about going to lunch, the weather, to just see like what their voices sound like together. And I keep it in like a little story Bible. So no matter what I'm writing, I can just like look at that and I'm like, oh, that's how they talk to each other. And then I can like use it as a frame of reference. I also keep like a document of like what are each character's motivations, so I can like refer back to things if I need to and see how they inform scenes.
Typically, after I write something, I will also go back and map what is each person's motivation within each scene, especially if it's something complicated, like a mystery where people have different motivations, or this person's lying about this or that person's lying about that, to help you keep track of it. And so that it feels sort of like propulsive, like someone wants something. If no one wants anything, then why am I reading this?
That makes sense, yeah. Just checking in the chat, because what is it? I see some folks that actually do similar to what you do. Like KC, I used to do star charts like that. At some point, I'll do an assemble again.
Yeah, like a big cast.
Big cast, I love it.
I've always like only written stories where like there's like either one main character and then like everyone else is like a side character specifically. So I feel like if I ever wrote a story with like technically 6 main characters, like I don't know if you know, but like 6 of Crows, like that's 6 protagonists. I don't know if I could ever do that because that feels so overwhelming. But if I had something like a map, that might work.
I think it also depends on if you want your characters to be like equally as important to the story. Like, is the one person moving everything, or is it everyone's equally like changing everything?
And I think if you do something like 6 or 5 or even 3, I think They have to be fully developed. I mean, if they're quite hollow, then it's like they might as well not be different characters.
Fair point. I love it. Let's see. Some folks, Nastadart, some of these names I will usernames. There needs to be something in common with the characters, and they need to like each other first before they can be romantic. For the romantic relationships, unless you have the what enemies
to lovers. My
Yeah.
favorite.
I feel like even then, when they're enemies, they kind of still like each other. Like even before they realize, they're like, "Oh, I kind of respect the fact that you tried to murder me this way," or like, "You're really smart." Like I feel like there's a little bit of like even within the enemy. Oh, someone says, Imani says, I do general character logs to keep up with all my characters in the story. So I'm like, I'm assuming it's like a log for each, like a day in the story, which sounds really interesting.
I think I've done it like that too, where after, well, I would sometimes frame my chapters like episodes. So I'm like, by the end of the chapter episode, everyone's on this page.
I never thought about it that way. For me, it's like I want all these things to happen. It's like it's in a day in my head as opposed to an episode. So I'm like, all these things happen on this day, even if like technically time-wise, it's not one day.
So like a chapter outline.
Yes, but I feel like sometimes I've seen chapter outlines that are like extensive, like they do this in each scene. I'm just like, at the end of this, I want 2 people to meet. That is all I want.
I have like extremely detailed chapter outline. That's basically like the feeling of the entire chapter in like maybe a couple pages of a summary, and maybe like a snippet of dialogue or like something important. That it kind of gives me a blueprint for what to write when I'm sitting down. So I'm never sitting there just kind of like thinking.
That's the reason why I started doing the like mini chapter outlines, because I was like, I don't want to be like, oh, I am having writer's block, I can't write anything. Like, no, you have tasks, you have things you need to happen in this story.
Yeah.
I love it. Everyone's setting goals. And I think while we're talking about, making sure we press through these goals, do you think we should move on to the next story prompt? Do we feel ready to write again? I see some folks in the chat are ready. And this time we have our guest, Vera's prompt. Do you want to share?
Yes. So the exact wording is, what is one strong memory? I just deleted it. What is one strong memory from your character's past that has stuck with your character, and why?
Well, remember, folks, like if you get stuck, just write whatever comes to mind, but also this is meant to help guide whatever gets you to write for the next 10 minutes.
Okay, so I'm starting. 3, 2, 1, go. pencils down, stop writing, finish up what you were currently working on. How was that for y'all?
Good. It made me think about what would be the most difficult thing they'd had to do, and how it defines their character.
Yeah, I wrote about a particularly humiliating moment in this girl's life and how it affects her relationship with her mother.
My whole current work in progress is about a girl doing something that she really didn't want to do because she didn't want to like face going back to her hometown. And so I just have continued the scene that I was currently working on.
Yeah, this prompt is really good with addressing like the harder parts to write that don't feel so good to write about. I know some folks in the chat, they're putting down their word count. Mallory, I made a list for different characters instead of an actual scene. So map out their hardest moments.
That's fair.
That's a good
Kate
idea.
Lima wrote 542 words.
CB 394 wrote 5 words, but that's okay. You wrote 5. It's better than 0.
Or -5.
Yeah.
I wrote, I see Paula wrote 198 words. Ani wrote about remembering a tragic first love, which took them 222 words, 20 words.
Tatiana, I wrote an embarrassing moment too, 247 words.
Got through 300 words.
Do y'all find like writing these moments are they difficult for y'all?
It depends on how close it is to my own experience. Like if I've actually experienced what I'm writing about, it is like, it doesn't hurt, but it's more of like oh, I need to face this thing that I've thought about or like went through. But when it's like removed from me, I think it's actually easier to write because I like writing about tough things. But like if it's something I've experienced, I'm like, now I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think it's harder for me if I don't know anything about that world. Like, I have one character who's a football player and like, I don't really know what that is like. So I have to like really do some research before I can say something realistic about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat where if I'm like not completely sure how that moment would feel, I'm like, how do I put myself in those shoes? How do I research that?
Maybe it's the psychology major in me, but I feel like to an extent everyone feels that sort of like shame or embarrassment. Like you know what that feeling is.
Yeah.
The like difference is like what makes you feel that way. And I think once you figure that out, like in the scene, no matter how far removed you are, you can write something that makes you feel that way,
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I might try that. Just looking back on the chat is some folks, Music Kel 266 says, this prompt was actually super helpful for character development. My character remember how he felt when he first got his job as a spy, heightening the guilt of betraying them. And we've all felt guilt before. Maybe not for being a spy though.
Although that would be cool.
Let's see. And subscription unboxing, agree. Getting my master's in psychology has been helpful in writing character experiences. Look at you, Agna, that could be you.
Honestly, it could be. The closer I get to graduating, the possibilities are endless.
I have a background in psychology. I have a bunch of degrees. If you are interested, shoot me an email.
I will. You're gonna regret saying that, but it's just like panicked, like email, like, hello, I know we barely met. However, but yeah, I think it's fun. I actually switched majors from biology, so it's like doing the classes I am now. I'm like, oh, I enjoy this because I like analyzing people, and it's actually helped with my writing too. Like, subscription unboxing said.
I think there's also a question in the chat for you. Vera.
Oh yeah, how is your psychology or sociology and psychology majors help you? Well, I think it helps me understand human behavior, which is something I would have been interested in doing even if I had majored in psychology, but how the human mind functions. And then my book, it in particular happens to be about psychology on top of that. So it's about psychopaths. So having a background in it helped me to like understand the research that I had to do for the book.
Nice. It's nice to think about how like just understanding ourselves or psychology will help understand our characters better, make them like more realistic. Cool. Are folks feeling ready to move on to the last prompts for 15 minutes? I know folks are here for writing and like NaNoWriMo, like I know folks need to catch up or maybe they're already past.
I'm one of the few who needs to catch up. I've accepted I'm not finishing, but you know, am I gonna still keep writing? Yes.
Exactly. I wrote a flash fiction piece, less than 1,000 words, and you're like, that's gonna be my project. That's all I do. Cool. The prompts that we're going to be working on for the next 15 minutes is going to be your character is now locked in a room with a member of their family. How do they interact?
Could be positive, could be negative, could be neutral. Either way, we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. time is up. Finish what you were writing. How was that for y'all?
A little harder.
Harder?
Yeah. Well, I think because I didn't really know that particular relationship very well. So I had to think about it.
I used it to not actually meet the parents, but how do you say, like, have my character reminisce on her relationship with her parents.
Mm. I was thinking, I did mine on a scene where like there's like a turn on someone being afraid of their family member, and how does that, and they're stuck in the same space, so how does that come up? Oh wait, binary in the chat. Woo, I reached 50K during that one.
Oh.
I'm not even gonna tell you what mine is, but I'm so proud of you.
Can we take credit for it?
Yeah, we did this. Us being here is what did it.
Oh man, congrats. So look, we got a winner on here. Ooh, love it. We have some folks in the chat. Also got 701 words by Paige. Nick has 737. Y'all are killing it.
Dang, I need to catch up. The amount of people finishing, good for y'all.
Yeah, honestly, it's okay. I'm just happy to see folks win.
Honestly, me too. I like that we're there to help them and cheer them on. Well, I guess we should go into last minute announcements.
Oh yeah, we have
Yeah.
2 minutes left.
Okay, so let's get into it. Firstly, Vera has a book. If you enjoyed her here, hold it up. There you go. It's called Never Saw Me Coming. It's about psychopaths. And
Or is that the new one? It's about psychopaths.
Yes, a campus thriller about psychopaths.
And do you have any
if you're
Sorry?
Do you have any parting words or advice for folks down in the chat?
I would say, because it's November 19th, and if you feel like hitting that goal is too far away and you're being discouraged, I would say don't fixate on the actual number, but the fact that you are engaged in an ongoing project, and whatever that might be at the end is more important than the literal hitting of the goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been telling myself. Not exactly in those words, but that's what I've been telling myself too. In terms of other announcements, we have, like I mentioned, yoga things, writing and yoga sprints tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. We also have 2 writers of color events on Monday and Tuesday. And yeah, we won't have another virtual write-in next week.
Yeah, we're on a break, but make sure to check out the Nano calendar. There's always events going on. Make sure to make an official project. So we want to know what you're doing. Make sure to announce it. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's always weird saying that.
I feel like a fancy YouTuber whenever you do. I'm like, yeah. Okay, bye everyone. Have a good break.